Guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Olympia's Soiree. And we were just running out of the bathhouse in embarrassment because they were teasing us about Himika. Anyway. Huh? You're leaving already? Camellia had just finished sweeping the entryway when I stepped through it. Oh, I suddenly remembered something I needed to do. I heard about this morning. I went with Lord Yosuga and Dr. Kuroba to lay flowers there. I see. Thank you. Humans can't be repaired, can they? Once they break, they just die. Right. Please be careful not to break, too. Don't worry. Kuroba says I'm in excellent health. Did he? That's a relief. Well then, good luck with your deliveries tomorrow. Yeah, we could have totally done that. But, you know. Oh, who's that? I walked to the place where they were found this morning and saw that it was full of flowers. In front of them was an old lady wearing a black kimono. Is it Granny What's-Her-Face? Oh, yeah.
Of all the stupid things, a double suicide.
Yeah.
There were options if you decided to live. You're the Tenyo Island girl.
Good day.
You're looking for a husband, aren't you? Don't just stand there. Go find yourself a man already.
I don't know what's happening to her voice. It's not being as old lady as I want it to be. It's just whatever it is. Yes. She was shamelessly rude, but she was clearly paying her respects to Mio. If you'll excuse me, I bowed my head and then quickly took my leave. It's funny that she's just magically like now a new character. Hey, you know who we haven't seen in this route? Kanan. Which is kind of awesome. It appears the sun is completely set. Yes, I was wondering earlier if it would. There seems to be even more people here than before. I suppose more people wish to catch a glimpse of you driving away the darkness. There were so many people gathered at the harbor that they barely seemed to fit. I needed to continue meeting their expectations. It's like a creepy sense of deja vu. I'm just kidding. Like, the very beginning of each route, that little scene where the Yellow Chamberlain comes out, and then basically this are like 98% the same. So it's like, weird. We're here. Please do your best. Yeah, that's not his voice, but whatever it is. Thank you. It's weird because this is actually like, do you see the rocks behind it? So we had to row out to this, even though there's like rocks there. So like, where are we? But we also aren't at Tenyo Island, so like, it's like a weird little like pile of rocks that's nearby. Like, I don't, anyway, makes no sense. Don't worry. It is my duty to worship and protect the sun so the world doesn't fall to darkness. The thought of Mio and Okichiku returned to mind. I'll dedicate my dance to them tonight. They did nothing wrong. No matter what anyone else says, they did nothing wrong at all. All I can do now is try and deliver the brilliant sunlight to Yomi, where they ended their lives. A light so strong and bright that it would reach the bottom of the ocean. I'm sure Lady Amaterasu would forgive me. I vowed to make that happen as I gazed out at Tenyo Island floating on the ocean. A promise to protect. New chapter. Maybe it's just me, but the sun seems brighter than usual today. I wonder if Lady Amaterasu is blessing the two lost souls. And again, she might not be. I heard she doesn't like men. Well, it's good that the sun is stable for now. I can do my deliveries with peace of mind.
Lady Olympia, may I?
Just as I was about to yawn, Chigaya peeked out onto the balcony. She said the word yawn. I don't know what it is, like a fucking trigger. Yes, just as I was about to yawn. Fuck. My brain's like, yawn? Okay. Oh, what is it?
A messenger has arrived from
Kikusui? Kikusui?
Asking to deliver a letter. Kikusui? Who's Kikusui?
Who or what is Kikusui? Masahana! Lady Olympia! Thank goodness I found you! Masahana was walking next to another girl. She seemed to be a friend of hers. I ran toward them, waving my hands as I did so. Well, that's right, we don't know Yusuke. Well, whatever can I do for you? You remember the letter to the Yellow District? I just received... Yeah, there we go. Yusuke, don't worry! Calm down! I couldn't understand what just happened. To be exact, I didn't want to know. Her face seemed to be contorted with fear. I'm very sorry. Have I troubled you greatly? Please forgive me for the terrible imposition. She quickly knelt down to pick up her fallen sewing tools with shaking hands. She must be very scared. A spool fell out of her hands again, and she hurried to pick it up with great agitation. Is she that scared of me? Yusuke, I'll take care of this, so you just introduce yourself to Lady Olympia. Her entire body stiffened in front of me. Oh, are you the one who wrote the letter? Yusuke, was it? Yes. I came to deliver this to you. It's a reply from Kikusui. Huh? If you'd like, I'd be happy to deliver your reply. Oh, don't worry, Yusuke. I'm sure Lady Olympia won't treat you badly or shun you. Shun? I'm terribly sorry. Please forgive my hideous appearance and my impertinence in speaking to you. Unable to reply, I looked over at Masahana. Yusuke didn't look hideous to me at all. In fact, the little I could see of her eyes was strikingly clear and beautiful. Yusuke was originally from the Yellow, but her hair color changed due to illness, and she was recently sent to Yomi. Now that she mentioned it, it appeared Yusuke had all of her hair stuffed into the scarf around her neck. She also wore a hood and a cape over it for good measure. Thank you very much for the letter. I don't know how I can ever repay you, Lady Olympia. What could I say to someone who was on the verge of tears? You should not have to stand in front of someone like me. Yusuke, I had to take her hand in mine. You don't need to be afraid of me. Huh? I'd never treat you badly or shun you because of your hair. Lady Olympia. You arrived in Yomi only recently, right? In that case, I'm sure there's a lot you're still getting used to. So let's take everything one step at a time. Yusuke's small hand shook. But trust me when I say this. You're not hideous, and I'll never see you as hideous. I promise you that. Crystal-like tears overflowed from her eyes. I'm very sorry. She quickly covered her face, then ran away. Please, forgive her for her discourtesy. Masahana picked up a thimble from the ground and placed it into her pocket. Of course, I hope she's able to feel more settled here soon. Actually, she speaks much more than she did before. When she first arrived, she seemed to be on the verge of death. Which means she's getting better, I'm sure of it. At least, I pray that she does. Indeed, now I should go and check on her. I watched Masahana as she bowed and walked away. Slowly? Where did slowly come from? Anyway.
Morning, sis.
I want his little story.
Got that? Don't you ever speak to Asawa again.
Punches Hayuri in the face and her brain. I can't just ignore his bright smile. Good morning, Asawa. You're looking well today.
Got that right. Dr. Kuroba says I gotta eat right and sleep right if I want to grow up big and strong.
That's true, you know. I'm glad to hear that.
So have you run into Hayuri lately? I told him to be a bit more friendly.
Oh, yeah, he told me to die and to never speak to you again, so... Yeah, no, I don't think he got the memo. Not yet. I'm sorry to lie to you, Asawa.
I see. Well, if you ever see him, try and have a chat. He promised me he'd be friendlier next time.
I'll do that. With a punch in the face. It's a friend punch. Punch all of the people I love the most in the face this hard. Break their nose.
Well, I'm off to work now. See ya.
See ya. Fucking love that kid. I'm such a horrible person. I'm surprised he was able to get him to promise to be friendlier. As I pondered over our conversation, I felt someone suddenly pull on my jacket. What the?
Hey, monster girl. How many times do I gotta tell you to stay away from Asua?
Hayuri. He stood in front of me, making no attempt to hide that he would fight me if he could. I will fucking kick you in the face, child. Like, Asa was that one that you were like, kids, oh, Asa was so cute. He's like one of those cute kids that you're like, oh. Sometimes kids are cute. And then Hayuri's like, you're like, nope. This is why I hate my uterus, because it exists, and fuckers like you come out of shit like that. Get out. You want to, like, kids suck. There's two types of kids in this world. The very few Asuas, and then the mostly Hayuris. We were all a little bit of a Hayuri at one point. I doubt this is him trying to be friendlier with me.
In fact, I don't even want to see you here in Yomi again. The white hair of yours is an eyesore.
Your face is an eyesore. I'd say your mom's an eyesore, but oh, you don't have a mom, do you, orphan? This is why they don't let me near children. They would never let me be an Otome heroine because I would be mean to assholes like this, and, you know, we're supposed to be, like, nice and shit, but, like, whatever. With a heavy sigh, I straightened myself up. Hayuri, I'm gonna tell you the same thing. First, I won't ever stop my deliveries. I started them, so I'm gonna make sure they continue. As for Asua... Asua has the freedom to dream, and should have the freedom to make his dream come true. I mustered my strength to speak with the courage I gained from Mikaza. There's nothing wrong with wanting to go up to the surface. You already know, don't you, Hayuri? That Asua wants to be a doctor. It's never gonna happen. Hayuri, it was the first time I was actually irritated with him. First time? I've been irritated since this bitch showed up. Okay, no, the first time he showed up, he seemed okay. And then all of a sudden you realize it was just an act, and you're like, ugh! Then the irritation set in deep. It's been deep and prickling ever since. Someone who is supposed to be Asua's brother should never be so unsupportive. Don't you say that to him! Or that's enough! I feel like both of these are good. I don't know which one's right. Okay, don't you say that to him. I feel like that's enough also, as you say that, as you backhand him across the face. And she wouldn't do that, so. Don't you dare say that in front of him! I'm trying to be friendly, but... I don't care what you think of me, but this is Asua's dream. You should support him. It's a waste of time to dream of something that won't come true. My irritation began to change into confusion. Why is he so adamant about it? He was obviously mistreated and shunned himself. But surely Asua has been through the same thing. Asua was cautiously optimistic of the future, whereas Hayuri was wallowing in despair and hatred for those on the surface. Be like, you know what? You should be more like Asua. He actually has hopes and dreams, and you're just a miserable little asshole. You should save that for when you get to be old and then become a miserable asshole. You know what I do for a living, right? Huh? Selling newspapers in Sujiura, right? With my permit, I'm free to go through Kunado. No one can arrest me for just being on the surface. But people still treat me like shit. Look how white she is. She's so creepy. Isn't it the girl from Tenyo Island? Which means she's of the real white lineage. Should we try to nab her? Oh, no, that's... Should we try to nab her? Kuroba's still in the black class, so he's got it easier. But look at Asua's colors. Even in Yomi, it's strange to see that color mix. That's why they were gonna kill him when he was born. What do you think will happen if he goes up there? How are they gonna look at him? That's why I keep saying he should just stay in Yomi forever. His rough words seemed to be motivated by kindness. I already wanted to stop Asua from going to the surface because he was afraid of how Asua would be treated. I'm actually thankful to Lord Doma the Yellow for giving us the honor of redemption. I gave a slight frown. Huh? When me and Asua die, make sure to burn that damn sun nice and bright, you hear? Hayuri! Hey, don't yell at me! I'm only giving you facts. No one in Yomi can see the sun. You were the ones being fed to the sun a show. So ridiculous it makes me laugh. The back of my eyes burned, but I somehow endured it. Understand now? This is why I hate you so much. If you really like Asawa, make the surface a place where you can actually live free and be happy. That's what I'm trying to do, you little bastard! Oh. Oh, well, sorry. Yeah, you should be! Can't do it, huh? Not like you're a god or anything. Himika might be. Then again, since the white can do something about the sun, why not show us a miracle? Come on, show us a miracle! Let's show you a miracle. Miracles that I didn't punch you in the face already. You like Asawa, right? Then do it! Show us a miracle! I managed to hold back my tears. They were more from frustration than sadness. I was frustrated that I couldn't do anything to fulfill that sad request. Come on, say something! I'm so sorry for you, Hayuri. I couldn't say anything to him. Listen up! This is my last warning. Don't you dare come near me or Asawa again. Don't you come near me! You keep coming near me and I don't want you anywhere near me, you little prick! God, I hate this kid! As soon as he left, tears welled up in my eyes. I mean, we literally just got told off by a tiny terror. And now we're crying about it? Like, that's what happens when the tiny terror bird. Again, this is literally, oh my god, that's true, I forgot. This is you as a character, except for I hate this kid. I don't hate you. But you're such an angry little ball of pretty color. I'm like, look, she's got such pretty color. Angry little asshole! Little bird's actually been really nice lately. He still doesn't really like me, and he still freaks out if I go over to try to talk. I'm like, I'm just coming over to talk to you. What the fuck? Like, I just want to talk to you because I want to give you attention. He's not nearly as mean. Like, still doesn't really like me, but he doesn't hate me as much. Hi, I hear you. Oh, you're eating? Hi. Hi, Tiny Terror. You know, like, it's actually been quite nice lately. It only took a year plus. Anyway, we already read that. I can't. People are gonna start worrying if they see me crying here. I quickly dried my tears and hurried back up Yomotsu Hirasaka. Doma, a child yelled at me! I'll fucking kill him. Anyway. Doma of the Yellow, I need to ask you something. Oh! I headed straight to Doma's study as soon as I returned to the surface. I needed to ask him my question. He's like, fuck. Say it. I love you. That's what I want to say. That's not a question. I know! But I love you so much, Doma. Anyway. Why did you decide to use the show of those in Yomi to fuel the sun? They live in a world where the sun can't reach. Because it is an honor. In death, they themselves will become the sun. He answered with a cold smile, and my strength began to falter. And you thought that doing so would please them? Maiden of the White, do you mean to denounce me? So this is how you treat the savior of the White Bloodline, who created the Solar Link? The savior of the White Bloodline. The funniest part! I'm just gonna go, like, she's like, you're not the savior. Like, it's me. I'm the continuation of the White Bloodline, and he might be your dad. So technically, he's not really wrong there, because like, if he hadn't boned your mom, you wouldn't be here, and there would be no white women left. So like, I mean, he might not be wrong. Such an arrogant thing to say, but it's kind of funny if you think about it. What an ungrateful child. Well, we kind of are to Doma. I somehow held back from yelling at him. Don't yell at him. He's too pretty. Stop it. I couldn't let my emotions get the better of me. But wasn't there any other way? Before you cast blame, use whatever remaining sense you have left to devise an alternative of your own. I staggered back, unable to reply. I mean, he's not wrong. You're like, oh, that's just... How could you? And he's like, well, what else are we going to do? Good point. Like, Doma was right. I was behaving like a child. As you do, every time Doma's involved, she regresses to, like, petulant child status. It's funny. I love it. But it's true. A selfish child with no real plans of her own. I'm very sorry. I didn't... Why did you come to me with such nonsense? Have you allowed yourself to be taunted by them? I wasn't going to give him any names. She's like, yeah. He's like, it was that stupid turquoise child, wasn't it? It was Hayuri, wasn't it? Kid's a fucking douche. No one in Yomi was to blame. Bullshit. Hayuri is to blame. I have by no means any doubts of the system's merit. And the show of those in Yomi are of no use to the shrine pillars, and have long been discarded as useless. Or do you think it a greater honor to be thus treated and thrown away? And the sun's light does not reach Yomi, yet in death they themselves can reach the sun. It's kind of actually beautiful when you say it that way. I mean, it's kind of fucked up what we do with the show, but, like, he's like, they won't use it in the shrine gate, and honestly, like, being used to fuel the sun, I feel like is nicer than, like, you're like, so what happens when I die? We're gonna put you in Femur Bridge. Oh. Yeah. Then you have that awkward smile on your face, and your eyes are like, the fuck? But you have a smile, you're still like, uh-huh. Oh, yeah. And what about that guy down in Yomi? Oh, he's gonna fuel the sun. Oh, is that right? That seems like a nobler purpose than forever used in Femur Bridge. The fuck? You know? And this is like a beautiful way of saying it. The sun's light doesn't reach Yomi, yet in death they themselves can reach the sun. God damn it, Doma. Secretly a poet. Are you Hijikata deep down inside writing poetry over there that we don't know about? The Red Calamity. The night of the Crimson Moon, the women of Tenyo Island perished, and the sun all but faded without their prayers. That's why I created the link, so that even your paltry efforts might suffice as tribute. And you now say you find fault in that? He's like... He's a little arrogant, but I still love him. It's alright, you have a right to be arrogant, you're fucking hot. Do you mean to say, Maiden of the White, that you would rather the sun had vanished, so this world could fall to eternal darkness? That's not... Then the answer should be clear. Sadly, he was right. But what Hayuri expressed was valid, too. You do know that the souls from the people of Yomi are fed to the sun, right? I was irritated hearing that back then. The show of those in Yomi were discarded. I wonder if Hayuri knows the kind of horrible treatment they got before. Please excuse my ignorance. I should have considered the matter more fully. And Doma's like, good girl. Taught you to always just, like... Because, I mean, we're like, how dare you? And he's like, what the fuck would you want me to do? You're right. I didn't consider that. I should have thought of that before I accused you of being an asshole. It's just... I just always think you're an asshole, even when you're doing the right... Never mind. Okay, I'll be gone. Like, at least we can admit when we're wrong. He's like, good. Think for yourself. Have a strong will. That's why he just, like, wasn't... He didn't baby us. He didn't pamper us. He didn't dad us like he should have. You know what I mean? Because then we would have been coddled and soft. And now we're like, no, I will forge my own way because Doma was mean to me. He didn't do a damn thing. He wasn't really mean to you. He wasn't really nice to you. He just didn't do it. He just was nowhere near you, basically. So, you know. I wasn't apologizing in defeat. What I heard today was the truth about this island from different perspectives. That's right. I have one more question if you don't mind. He's like, I think you're going to fucking force me to answer anyway. Do you know a young woman by the name of Yusuge, daughter of Kikusui? The child who was sent to Yomi. I heard her color traits changed from an illness, but she was formerly of the yellow, right? So why did she have to be sent to Yomi? Unbelievable. His blatant ridicule made me regret asking him. I shouldn't have mentioned it. I could have just asked Akaza or Kuroba. You should know it was not the disease that changed her color. Her color changed from taking medicine for Haku. Medicine? There are 2 remedies for Haku. It's so funny when he's unbelievable, and she's like, oh, he's laughing at me. It's like, he's like, oh, unbelievable. You just don't understand how this works. He's just like explaining to you how shit works, but in such a pompous, arrogant way that you're like, he's being such a dick, and it's like, it's just the way he is. It's just the way he talks. And it's like, my God, you're so angry. This is just my face! Just a resting bitch face. Like, one is Tokijiku-tan, and with very few adverse effects, though odds of recovery are only half. And the other is a recently developed medicine. Tokijiku-tan Ne cures Haku 90% of the time, but with significant side effects. It turns parts of their body completely black. Huh? And though you have remained blissfully unaware until now, and the color black is despised and shunned by the people of this island. The black class must live in Yomi. Hence, it is only natural that she finds her new place there. It's so funny because when she's like, how could you let them do this? He's like, I don't agree with it, but like, no one will listen to me and Jigen. I love the fact that like Doma is like slow behind the scenes, like just trying to change things without being the stand-up. This is wrong and we should change it. He's like, I mean, I guess we should change it. Secretly, he's like, yes. It's just so weird. Please forgive my hideous appearance and my impertinence in speaking to you. So the reason why her hair was hidden in her scarf was an indescribable hopelessness swept over me. For someone of the yellow, she must have felt that the color black was something to fear, but it's actually funny because Doma's hair is actually, like, pretty much black. Like, and it probably was naturally. I mean, yes, it's turned yellow, but, like, because they jammed a crystal in you when you got there, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, his hair's still, like, he doesn't have golden hair, so. Wait. You don't know what class we in the black are assigned to. It isn't just her. I never noticed since Kuroba talked about it so boldly, but I'm sure the others felt the same way about it. I can now see why he sometimes spoke with sarcasm about his color class. Thank you for your time. Please excuse me. I bowed to him before leaving the room. I need to learn how to stay calm. I sat on the bench and sighed to myself. I was actually a little worried about that. I believe it's both your strength and your weakness. I couldn't seem to hold back my emotions and wanting to do something to change things. I need to first learn more about this island and behave maturely. He's right in saying that the link allows the sun to continue shining. Creating the link was the miracle that Doma the Outsider performed for the island. As much as I hate to admit it, I need to appreciate him for that. But after hearing what Hayuri said, it was hard for me to keep calm. Was there really no other option aside from using the link? I gripped the folds of my skirt in my hands when... Lady Olympia... Huh? Lady Olympia, please don't go! It's that person from before. A young man appeared in front of me. The same young man who grabbed me when I returned from the stage on my birthday. But please, don't be frightened. It's only me. I quickly looked around. It was daytime and there were a lot of people here in the plaza. I'm not the same doll I was before either. I just couldn't bring myself to smile when I saw him looking so desperate. I was wondering what happened to him. Good day. Is there something you need? Yes. The young man stepped forward. I quietly grabbed hold of the strap on my bag. I can throw my bag at him if he tries to do anything to me, or just scream. That's right. Oh. Of the fuchsia? How rude of me. My name is Enji of the fuchsia. Enji. Lady Olympia, I hear you're looking for a man to be your husband. I am? Then I wish to offer myself. His voice resounded loudly, attracting the attention of the others around us. Did you hear that? He's from the fuchsia. I don't think he's a noble. I thought Lady Olympia already had her sights set on Lord Akaza, and we're over here. No! No, I heard she was thinking of Lord Nagusa of the Jade. Well, wait a minute! I'm right here, you know! You have not decided yet, have you? No, I haven't chosen anyone yet, but I doubt you're a good candidate. I smiled as graciously as I could, but I could see the madness in his eyes. I'm considering it very carefully. Then will you go on a date with me now? The murmurs slowly blended with chuckles. I felt like we were some kind of attraction now. I'm sorry, but I must decline. But why? Why? 'Cause I have the right to say no without any reason. Like, why? Because I said so? Why is it children admit why? Because. But why? Because I said so. But like, why? That's all the reason you fucking need. I said no. No means no. I got nothing else for you aside from no. Just no. Come on, give me a reason. Come on, why? Because you're being a pushy fucking weirdo, that's why. But come on, come on, come on, come on. I will punch you. Like, you know what I mean? Just take no for an answer, bro. I mean, I can't really blame him for, like, asking what. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go with no. Wait, but why? I just don't think we're a good fit. Alright, okay, you know? Anyway. If so, please use me. I'd be honored to offer my soul for you in the sun. I stood up from the bench, slightly irritated. Have you forgotten what you did to me back then? Please excuse me. Please wait. I really love you. He pulled my arm just as roughly as he did before. Where's Akaza to jump in? Calm down. I can get out of this myself. Please unhand me. Lady Olympia. This would have been better happening in Akaza's realm, because Akaza basically knocked him off and was like, don't fucking touch her. She's mine to protect. And we were like, oh, hi! And then just be like, for him to do that again. Always sweeping in, knocking this fuchsia bitch off his feet. It's great. Hi! 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 He's so happy! You're so happy! Go birdie. Hi! What you doing, Tiny Terror? You're being so happy. She's making pretty noises. He's just sitting in, like, the door to his cage, just chirp, chirp. And now he's sitting on the door to Neelix's cage, staring into the cage, like, through the bars. I don't know why. What you doing, Tiny Bird? Hi! Oh, you're making such pretty noises, huh? We like it when you chirp pretty. Oh, you are. You're a tiny, angry little bird, but you're so cute. Yeah, you are. You're better than Hayiri. He's a little asshole that deserves to be kicked. And you just deserve to be smothered with kisses. But I'm not going to do it because you probably bite me, so. Metaphorical kisses. Anyway. Lady Olympia! I don't know if I read that, whatever. I will remind you that anyone who brings harm to me will be punished. No, you're mistaken. I simply want to be loved by you. I love you more than anyone in this world. Me? Suddenly my heart went cold. He doesn't know me at all. Lady Olympia, please love me. Get away from her. Say any more and I'll turn you into a show. Do you accept the honor of being offered to Lord Hirako? Himika, don't say such a thing! Who are you? I am this world's undertaker and the most powerful wielder of Batsu. I can erase you in the blink of an eye. Hey, it's the Undertaker from Yomi. What's he doing with Lady Olympia? Look at him, he's carrying a skull. I mean, we always see it in a sprite, and you're like, does he actually just carry the fucking skull around? Like, he's... Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. Like, just... And then it's like, nope, he really does just carry it around. I just figured it was part of a sprite, but it wasn't like, but nope, it's actually part of, okay. He must have picked it up at Corpse Beach. I felt a new sense of frustration and sadness at the onlookers' relentless mockery and contempt. Undertaker, stay away from Lady Olympia! The plaza's no place for someone as tainted as you. Leave! Don't ever set foot in here again! Go away, you filth! What? My frustration continued to grow and grow. This is where you tell them off. Don't you dare talk to him that way. Himika's demeanor may not sit well with some, but... Lady Olympia, please step away from him! What if you're defiled too? Then I'll like it. That creepy skull! He's carrying death on him! If you get infected with Haku, the sun would... Unable to tolerate any more of it, I stepped forward. All of you! I apologize for any disturbance my friend may have caused. But I must ask that you all hold your tongue. Insulting him in this way is insulting to me. I'll not tolerate any disrespect toward him. As silence fell over the crowd, Enji looked away with disappointment. Let's go, Himika. I whispered close to his ear, then took his hand in mine and walked away. Kanon slinks out from behind the bush. Interesting. Oh! No, it's Nagusa. Okay, well, someone was going to slither out from behind a bush, and there's Nagusa. I gotta put question mark, question mark, question mark, because we're not supposed to know who he is, but, like, you couldn't do Himika's route without doing the other one, so you know who Nagusa is. It's not a shock at this point. I'm sorry. The first thing he did once we left the plaza was apologize. He at least seemed to be aware of what he had done. It looked like you were in trouble, so I wanted to get rid of him. Himika, I appreciate your concern, but have you forgotten what I told you before? I haven't. Each word you say to me is so important that I could never forget. But you look like you were in danger. I let out a small sigh. Listen carefully, Himika. I'll say it again. No matter what happens, don't threaten people like that. It's really easy for Batsu to take someone's life. I was saying that to reprimand myself as well. I would never let it happen again. I understand. I'll be careful next time. There he goes again. It was the same when I met him down in Yomi. When I spoke to him then, he was so apologetic and kept looking down on himself. He was so bold and strong earlier, but in front of me he's meek and apologetic. But please be careful. You weren't the kind of person to fall in love with such a man. I felt a sharp twinge as I thought I had a hangnail. As though I had a hangnail, sorry. What does he mean by that? Is that the image he has of me? I'm just very happy to talk to you. I've dreamed of talking to you for so long. Come to think of it, something about back then didn't feel right either. What's wrong? I'm sorry if I said something bad again. His earnest eyes were definitely looking at me. He believed in me without any doubt. You don't even know me. Is it about what happened yesterday on the boat? Of all the times to bring it up! You can forget about it. That was a mistake. Oh, we get that CG again, though. Your skin is really hot. I suddenly remembered the sensation of his fingers against my skin. His cold fingers that carefully caressed my cheek. He said that was a mistake? I didn't have the courage to ask him that now. If I did, it meant this feeling I had for him was... Don't worry. I somehow managed to give him a gentle smile. If I allowed my emotions to come through now, things would be shown to him that shouldn't be. I'm not angry at all, but can you promise me one thing? Promise that you'll never use Batsu on anyone, or even use it as a threat. I understand. I promise. He wasn't looking at me. Even so, I couldn't bring myself to hate him.
Look how white she is. She's so creepy.
Like 15 times. I know very well that humans can easily distance themselves from others. His silvery ashen hair was similar to mine. I couldn't deny that I wanted to protect him as though he was my own family. Himika, I have something to do, so I'll be going. Of course. See you again. Bye.
Oh, one looks love-struck. So, did something happen?
All I came here for was to have a delicious cup of peach tea to get my mind off things. But he immediately noticed something was on my mind. Nothing special.
Now, if your search for a husband doesn't go well, it'll mean trouble. You can tell me.
This creepy fuchsia guy? I just feel like Himuka sees me as someone else.
Ah, you noticed.
You know something?
I was somewhat concerned by his demeanor when you were both here before. But
You just flashed. That's the flashback, but come to think of it, Yasuga did seem to notice something before.
he no doubt holds you in high esteem. Although, how should I say this? It verges somewhat on
Idolatry. Idolatry. You know, like idolizing. Is that how you say it? Idolatry? Anyway. Idolatry? That makes sense. You aren't the kind of person to fall in love with such a man.
Perhaps it is Olympia he longs for.
Or someone who looks like me. Like, I think you're right. Someone who looks like me. I feel that's interesting though as a topic. Or someone who looks like me. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you were Lord Hirako in a past life, and that's why you're carrying around your old skull. You know what I mean? Like a maiden of the white that you were in love with in another lifetime. You know what I mean? So that's interesting. Or because he doesn't age, he just looks really young and delicate. You know, I don't know. Anyway, so. Oh, it is. Or someone who looks like me. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, his story's going to be... Oh, God, wait. No. Himuka, your route's not going to be the, you look like a girl I loved once, and I'm just going to, like, pine for her, but also, I'm in love with you, but, like, really, you're her to me? Because that's just always weird. That leaves a weird feeling. And, you know, it's like a weird taste in your mouth. You're like, yeah. That aftertaste is like, no. You know? It's like that, like, I loved her so much. She was my one true love, my soulmate, and she died. You kind of look like her and remind me of her. Like, no, I love you for you. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. And I don't know if I like that. It's weird. Just makes you feel like the only reason you're with that person is because they think that you're someone else, and then it's just they don't really love you for you. And, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think anybody wants to ever be in that situation. So, like, it's kind of weird when it's in an Otome game. It's just like that. Oh. Yeah, I mean, okay. Like, sure, this route's nice, and it's the ending, but, like, you know? It's like one of those bittersweet ones where you're like, it's a happy ending. Oh, but everybody dies. Fuck you! Damn you assholes. But somehow worse. Anyway. If that isn't true, the only other reason I can think of is maybe there was someone else who looks like me. I took a sip of the sweet, fragrant tea.
You're not acquainted before now, were you? Perhaps you bear a resemblance to his first love.
First love? I couldn't help but repeat it. But if it is like, well, Himuka is ageless, you know what I mean? And he is Lord Hirako, right? Then, yeah, he loved someone forever ago. But again, it's that you're pining for them, not me. I mean, it's not the, oh, you were in love with someone else before we met, because the older you get, the more chances are the person that you fall in love with has been with other people, fallen in love with other people. You know what I mean? Like you know? It's not you're the only person I've ever loved in my life, which is the way Otome games usually, like, pan it. But, you know. So, it's not that. It's the, you remind me of that person. That's the weird part. You know? Anyway. I couldn't help but repeat it. I most likely didn't know what love was. It was something I'd only read about before. Most of the books I read portrayed first loves as something important and sacred. There's no way I can compare to his first love. Yeah, or if he's comparing you to her, or you are her, it's weird. My shoulders slumped when it struck me. Compare. Compare what? Me? Against her?
Huh? Your face is gloomy again today, too.
But if he was Lord Hiroko and then was in love with the woman of the white once before, blah, 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 or whatever, but then he died and it was reincarnated and that's why he's carrying around his skull, that would be okay. That's different because, well, like, Himiko was someone different, but now but he just remembers and then, like, maybe we were his old love and we got reincarnated. We just don't remember. And then it'd be okay. We're like, oh, we were her in another life. Because then it's okay because then we just don't remember, but he does. Different. That's different, and that's okay. I can accept that, but as Yosuga briefly explained the situation, Camelia's expression grew just as gloomy.
I'm going to have to side with Lord Himiko on this.
Yosuga and I looked at each other, surprised.
I've heard a lot about Lady Olympia from Lord Tsukuyomi, so much that I really longed to see you. Lord Tsukuyomi kept telling me that I'd be able to see you one day, but he never told me when. I'd never met anyone from the White before, so I imagined many things. I'm sorry. Maybe that sounded a little rude. Anyway, I just knew that I had to see you. And there are a lot of people here who have longed to see you. So I hope that you don't see it as something bad. I mean, I was able to become your friend, right? I'm sorry. That sounded selfish. It's only a doll's silly ramblings.
Not at all. Thank you. I gently took Camelia's hand. You're right. We are friends now. Maybe I was just being stubborn. Camelia tightened her grip on my hand. Her hand was cold, yet gentle. Camelia, you are my dear friend and will always be. Whether you're a human or a doll. Maybe Himiko's a doll. We don't know. He's got cold hands like she's got cold hands. Or he's a ghost.
Indeed, there are many cases when admiration turns to love. He's still unaccustomed to socializing, so we will see in time.
In time. I wonder if that means something will happen. Maybe that means that Himiko may eventually become my husband. Basically. I pushed myself away from the table to shake the embarrassing thought from my mind.
What's the matter? What are you blushing about? I'm not blushing, not at all. How about I lend you this then? And this book's called 50 Ways to Gain His Love.
Camelia brought out a book from her pocket. Its cover was worn and faded. Didn't she give this to us once before? Did you find this on the beach?
That's right. I actually got it as a gift from Lord Tsukuyomi. It has all the details in it on how to make the date a success.
Why did Lord Tsukuyomi give it to her? Do you mind if I take a look at it? Or doesn't we got that for Tokasada too? She gave it to us for him. She's like, this is how you win the lolly boys. She's like, because the rest of them, you just bat your eyes and they're there. Like, they already know. Tokasama and Himika are like, I don't understand. I'm too, just boys don't know. The rest of these men are like, you're like, hi. And they're like, no, I'm already ready to go. Let's go. Let's get married. Sure, fine, whatever. Like, you don't have to try with them. You're just like, so Yosuga, okay. Like, I was going to ask for tea.
Oh, sure, of course.
Like, Cordoba, you didn't even have to ask. He was already like, he offered to do you in his office. So like, although you know damn well he was the one like, I mean, we can just go have sex right now. And you're like, okay. He'd be like, wait, what? Huh? No, I didn't expect you to say, yeah, I mean, okay, but what? Suggested locations, an amusement park or the aquarium? I keep seeing these words over and over again, but I've never heard of them before. This is Tokasada's route all over again. Or maybe they're called something different here. Could they be somewhere on this island? I returned to the manor and was reading the book while sitting out on my balcony, except for we were in the park reading this, or the square. If you notice a lull in the conversation, take a moment to look deep into your partner's eyes. We read this exact thing. When the opportunity arises, be bold and reach out to hold his hand. I appreciate Camellia lending me the book, but it doesn't seem to tell me what I want to know.
Hime, you've been reading that book all night.
Daifuku climbed up onto the bench and stared at me curiously. Daifuku, about my search for a husband.
Any luck?
I think I'm interested in Himeka, but I'm not sure if he's a good candidate to be my husband.
There's no need to rush to a decision. Maybe you can spend more time with him and get to know him a little better.
Fucking Daifuku, the wise-ass mouse. Daifuku was squeaking at me enthusiastically. I felt sorry I couldn't understand what he was saying at a time like this. Do we not... do we only find out in, like, Yosuga's route, or one of them, that, like, Camellia can understand them? So that's, like, not... We don't know that in any other route, because it'd be like, what is he saying? His hair looks like mine. I suppose it just brings back memories. I feel drawn to him somehow. I played with my hair for a moment, and I can't seem to get him out of my mind.
It must be love.
Look, he says it so good.
It must be love.
Listen carefully and promise me. Promise that you'll find your true love and live as happily as your mother has. Thinking of Doma. Going with it. I just know the other half of your soul is out there, somewhere in this world. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll do well. You are your father's daughter. You'll do well because he did well. So funny! It's so weird! Because I love Doma so much. I can't wait to find out he's our daddy. My mother loved my father. I should have asked her what he was like when I had the chance. Could you imagine? She would have been like, what's he like? And then your mother would have described, and then you would have known, and then, or she would have forgotten, just like some other things, and then she would have been like, wait. I asked my mother about my father, and she just, strange, the person she described sounded like Doma. She called him Doma. There has to be another Doma, right? Like, your mother never told you your father's name? I guess she didn't really think about it, because it wasn't like, Mom, where's my dad? Like, you just grew up with a bunch of other women, and that's just the way it was, and you don't really think about those things. And it's like, oh, your father, and then you're like, my what? You know what I mean? Like, she was like 5, so like certain things just don't occur to you until later, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess I should have thought that was odd. All right, you know? Or like when she remembers the woman with the red hair, she's like, oh yeah, right, that seemed odd at the time, and then the Red Calamity happened, and I didn't get to think about that. You know what I mean? Like, I could have used him as an example. It's because we're getting closer to finding out the truth. That's why this game is giving me these things to laugh about now. Oh. I know. I'll ask Tsukiyomi. Daifuku, would you like to accompany me tomorrow?
I would be delighted. I hope I can see this person you're interested in.
I took the sparkly-eyed Daifuku into my hands and headed back inside. But doesn't he know? Wasn't he there when we met Himeka the one time? Left out. You know what I mean? Because he was like, oh, Hime, that weirdo. Like, he was with us in one of the beginning of Himeka's route, right? 2 letters to the Red District today. But before I go, off to see Tsukiyomi. We haven't seen our precious little crazy pants. You know, he's our precious little crackpot. Good morning, Tsukiyomi. I love him so much. I really do. You're looking well today, my dear child. I do feel well most days. There's actually something I wanted to ask you, Tsukiyomi. And what might that be? I can't really remember his voice exactly, and I feel like he's turning into Himeka right now, but anyway. Tsukiyomi, did you know my father? Oh god. We can't know this now. We can't find out now. Tsukiyomi's like, Tsukiyomi's thin lips moved slightly. He's like, no. From the looks of it, maybe I shouldn't have asked. You don't need to tell me if you don't want to. Why do you ask? I wanted to use my father as an example for the type of husband I should choose. Ah, indeed. It seems like only yesterday that you cried over your sandcastle washing away, and then went to then went to hit the sea in your rage. Time flies by so quickly. I sort of remember that. This was why I couldn't fight Tsukuyomi. He remembered every little misdeed from my childhood. He's the one who wrote the story, and we are just characters living in. Look, we're in Tsukuyomi's spaceship. Tsukuyomi's like, this is just a holodeck experience. We're on the Enterprise, bitch. This is all fake. Like, I dreamed this whole thing up. Like, I'm puppet mastering this freaking holodeck show. Look, weirder shit could happen. You don't know. I wasn't able to learn anything about my father after what happened on my 5th birthday. Or maybe I simply forgot. I mean, now that I think about it, I don't even know his name. Sits interested, waiting to see if it comes out. Your father had no memory of his name. Because again, Tsukuyomi's just purposely not telling you. Because remember, it was like, oh, your father washed up on the shore. Your father is an outsider. Doma's an outsider. I'm just saying, and we know, based on Kanon's story, that Doma even had a wife and a child on the frickin' island, and it's like, okay, well, if that just didn't put all the pieces together for you. And then Tsukuyomi is purposely like, your dad didn't know what his name was at the time either. Like, Tokisada remembers his name, right? But, like, did Jigen remember? Maybe Doma's name was given to him, and Doma isn't his real name. Oh my god, Doma really is Hijikata. That's why he's slightly robotic and writes weird poetry. Remember that? Well, it was those words he said were just so poetic. Anyway. Was that this part of the last one? I don't remember. Anyway. Huh? The man who washed ashore on Tenyo Island had amnesia. My father had what? He had no recollection of where he came from. Not even his name. My heart was racing with anticipation. It was as if a door that had been tightly shut for so many years was suddenly opening. I don't think we're going to find out now. I have a feeling that's not going to happen till the end. But I'm also kind of scared that we might find out now and be like, find out that it's not Doma, and that would make me so sad. But I also don't want to find out it is yet. I feel like that should be like an Akaza route thing where like all the pieces come together. Not now. So? What color was his hair? Was he tall? Did he have a beard or any other features like it? I believe his hair was black. Because he's an outsider. Like, I'm just saying! And Doma's hair is... Oh my god. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh god. I mean, I knew it was... Look. I was like 90% sure this is the way it was gonna go, but there was a part of me that was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the game's not gonna... But like, now I just... Oh my god. Which means... He's from the black color class? Perhaps. So my father couldn't remember his name at all. But the thing is she's not putting the pieces together. Like, Tsukuyomi's purposely not telling you things. His hair was black. He's from the black color class? Maybe. But your mother said he washed up on shore. So, like, but I guess she doesn't realize that that's an outsider thing because she doesn't know about the lunar fairy. So, if you knew about the lunar fairy... which she hasn't been told in this route. So then she would know, okay, the mice give a thing, and then they come in a boat. But wait, my mother said he washed up on shore. So wait, is he an outside? Oh my god, it's Doma. You know what I mean? Oh my god, this is so good. I believe he did at one point, but he disappeared before he could reveal it. With that, the door mercilessly shut again. I see. Spacey. Tsukuyomi suddenly called me by my true name. He'd only used it a few times in the past. Tsukuyomi knows Doma's our dad, but he's purposely not telling us. What is it? I just remembered something I meant to tell you now that you're 18. The meaning of why the white find their husbands. I felt an ominous stirring in my chest. Tsukuyomi's expression was the same as usual, but his smile seemed unusually threatening. This is why I love Tsukuyomi, because you're like, he just seems kind of crazy and weird. And then it's like, slightly dangerous. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if Tsukuyomi ever stabbed me, but he's not a love interest. Because he'd probably like our great-grandpa. He could be Lord Hiroko, for you know. I believe Hakuwa has shared this with you before. Our mother's name is very close to Haku, if you think about it. When a woman of Tenyo Island falls in love, she gains the strength of her soulmate. Yes, I've heard that. Tenyo Island women also take on the color of the men they deem to be their husbands. Color? And by offering it to Amaterasu during a ritual dance, the sun is made radiant. Which we learned in Riku's, but we never spelled it out, Sun. That's right. Let me tell you something special. We girls on Tenyo Island have a wonderful secret. When you and your soulmate find each other and fall in love, you will take on your love's color and strength. Hey, we've never had our mom finish that whole sentence. We always just figured out what she meant. Wait, so that's what that meant? Have you ever wondered before why Doma uses the show from the Yomi to feed the sun? From Yomi to feed the sun, yeah. He's like, wait, Doma? As he's giggling inside because he knows Doma's your dad. My body went tense. Without colors, without souls, it cannot shine. Okay, so this is actually an interesting way of tying that together because, the women of Tenyo Island take on their lovers' colors, right? And then they feed those colors to the sun, and then that's what Doma's doing with the show. That's actually kind of ingenious. It's kind of a nice little, reason for why, aside from being just a sex mood ring, Okay, it's a love mood ring, whatever, but still. The women of Tenyo Island take on the colors of their husbands to offer to the sun. On Tengu Island, souls are transformed into show and death to be made as offerings. The method is different, but the concept is the same. And the sun of this world has shone with the light of human souls, of human colors, from ages ago. Tsukiyomi? Does it make sense now why the red calamity caused the sun to fade? A shiver, a sudden chill ran down my spine. It was because the women abandoned this world. You alone were left to fill the role, but were far too young to carry out the task. Me, alone. In the years of your youth, it was impossible for you to obtain colors in the manner of women. But, in other words, by taking a husband, you can now truly worship and protect the light of the sun. Basically like, girl, go get fucked so the sun shines. I mean, that's an interesting way to... Okay. Huh? Wait. Of course, this is known by very few. But from this day forward, I hope you take my words to heart and fulfill your role as a woman of the white. Of course, I'll try my best, but... that is the way of this world. Honestly, I was still in a daze. I couldn't seem to absorb everything I just heard. The way of this world, but offering my prayers to the sun comes so naturally to me that I never questioned the source of the power behind it. The colors have been used this way for ages? You may be surprised, my dear child, but this is what all Tenyo Island women are taught when they reach 18. So it's really funny that Tsukuyomi has to teach us the ways of the women of the white. That's something your mother should be in. Tsukuyomi's like, okay. All right, so. This is basically like women of the white sex ed that we're having right now. And Tsukuyomi is the one teaching us, which is just awkward and kind of funny. I have now taught you on Hakua's behalf. I see. I look forward to seeing who you will choose to be your husband. This all feels so unreal. I wasn't thinking of what I heard as a lie. What Tsukuyomi said did make sense, and he explained to me what I wanted to know. Oh, actually, oh shit, we're over time. Okay, hold on. Oop. Yes, rewind back here. Okay. We'll start back here and we'll read those next couple of lines in the next part. I didn't realize we were over time. Holy shit. I was someone wrapped up. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.